What should we do next? That's the question a lot of companies are asking. Some seek to grow into new or different categories. Some want to look to new or different markets. Some companies need help innovating their internal processes, and others are just in trouble and need a different plan. Many companies are turning to design as a strategic asset for help in figuring out what to do. There's an intense interest in design and design process right now, but there's also confusion when it comes time to use it. There's a difference between figuring out how to do something. How will this product, service, or experience work? Look and feel. How do you make it? And figuring out what to do. What's the future of our business? What will our next innovation be? What's the best way to position our brand? Design strategies answer the fundamental question all companies face. What should we do next? By uncovering and translating the values of people. The key to winning is achieving a resonance between what's meaningful for people and what's profitable for companies. As important as understanding what to do next is having the confidence in being right to make it real. It's costly getting it wrong. You've got to get it right.
Do we have a dust can anywhere?
I couldn't find it earlier.
Alex, would you go up to the third floor and look for the dust can, please?
Because when we get home, it's usually 5 o'clock. The boys both have homework to take care of. And then I've got work to do for the next day because I'm dashing out of work quickly. And then there's dinner. Yes, hello. Would you please be prepared yourself to be done with the meeting in 10 minutes?
That's when Dory and the boys get home. I don't get home until...
Yeah, and I'm doing that alone, basically, because Jamie's in school.
In the work that we do in design strategy, it's about serving people. I became more and more convinced that the real challenge lay less in the technical problem, but often the real challenge was in trying to solve the human problem. It's about understanding their needs, their aspirations, and then meeting them in some way. So we are serving them. But sometimes their needs are to be surprised and delighted. And they can't tell us how to surprise and delight them. That has to come from us as creative people in our profession. Design strategy is a way that design, broadly understood, can help a company lay claim to a business opportunity. It's a very eclectic group, a mix of people with backgrounds in design and business and technology and social sciences that works together in a very flat organization. And we help create design strategies for our clients.
We try to take all those different perspectives and bring them together around a cohesive idea. And that's what we're good at, is having that very multidisciplinary view and figuring out what the right solution is between all of the different tensions that exist out there.
I think a good design strategy is actionable. You look at it and you know what to do next. And sometimes things that are called strategy actually end with the insights instead of the ideas. And you don't know what to do with them. You read it and you say, that's really interesting. I understand my customer so much better now. Now what?
I think an insight's a really good question. And I think an idea is a really good answer. So even the best consumer insight is really only a question. Oh, the consumer is really trying to do this. Great, that's a good question. How do we help them do that?
The fact that we question and we keep coming up with new tools for each part of the process is important. But then it's the people applying the process that makes it all work.
What we all have in common and the reason that it works is because we all understand that it's not just a job for any of us.
It's about what people need and want, not about what we think we can provide them. And it's recognizing that once we've figured out what they need and want, we have to be as creative as possible to figure out how to deliver it.
And that's why it's so difficult for us to do, I think. We're trying to come up with something that you can't think of today, but tomorrow is obvious.
But I definitely don't think it's 100% of people need that. Like, I don't think you need to be safe for yourself.
Because our work is ideas-based, we're always using ideas as tools to inspire new ways of thinking or to challenge each other's assumptions, and then at the end, we use ideas to solve the problem. And even though we generate hundreds of ideas along the way, our value is in identifying the one right idea, the idea that will truly resonate with our clients and their customers. So how do we know if a good idea is the right idea? Well, getting to the right idea is a dual path. The idea has to answer the working questions. What problems do we need to solve? What solutions best address those problems? And from there we know what new features need to be designed. Following this path can often lead to technical innovations, and many organizations come to us looking to find an answer here. The other side of the equation, the feeling side, ladders up to what people value. What are people really trying to do, understand, or achieve in their lives? Their aspirations tell us more than their past product choices do, and from here we can envision what the future looks and feels like for them, what the ideal experience should be. Truly resonant ideas marry both sides of the framework, but we always start with the values because it keeps innovation connected to what people care about.
So there's no right or wrong answers, and we just ask for you to be as candid as possible. How are you feeling about the economy?
I feel powerless. I'm working as hard as I can. And when I say I feel powerless, it's like I don't really know what more or what else I could or should do. I've really never been one to freak out about it. I just kind of just keep working, and I think it's money and we'll get through it. And I don't know, I'm a Yankee, so I always kind of think I'm gonna just fall back on my resourceful roots, and I know how to cook beans and bacon, and I really sort of resent Martha Stewart, and I resent Joanne Michael's crafts, and you know, I don't need you know a manual or a set of instructions.
Is there an example around the house of your resourcefulness?
I do things like water down my soap, and maybe part of that is I grew up with parents who went through the Depression, and they're even to this day pretty hardy, and my guilt is there because for whatever reason I have not been able to prioritize.
Like what's in the coffee cup and the jar?
So this is our money. This is our change for lunches. What jar? This? The jar? Something amazing is going to go in this jar sometime.
Though we spend a lot of time together, often the creative thinking behind our ideas happens independently. We each communicate our thinking and ideas differently, and it's only when we share them as a team that our ideas grow and take shape. Going from insights to ideas is a creative and iterative exercise that relies on the ability to connect diverse learnings into a cohesive story. It's a lot like solving a riddle, where you have to figure out which clues matter and which ones don't, and make some leaps in logic. It's less like putting together a puzzle. Not all of the pieces we end up gathering along the way matter in the end. What we do have at the end is a clear direction that aligns the team. This is the idea in words. We frame the idea as a question to challenge us to figure out what form the answer should take. Maybe it's a new service rather than a new product. Perhaps it's a whole new business. We envision the idea to the point where it's real enough that somebody can experience it. The reason we prototype stories, experiences, and products is so we can problem solve in real life. We tinker, we challenge constraints, and we make the ideas work. It's very easy to hide behind 100 ideas. And that's why we choose to stand behind one idea.
the right idea works best. The only way we know it works is to test it with people. So after we envision it, we evaluate it with our consumers because they hold us accountable. Is it understandable? Is it relevant? Is it different? Is it believable? We don't always get it right the first time, and we use the feedback to iterate until we have the confidence to go forward into design and development. Once we know the idea resonates, we're ready to make it real.